Good afternoon from the mean streets of Harrisonville, Cass County, Missouri, U.S. of A. It's good to see you again. It's David. I'm back talking about our 2019 aquaponics project. And I know that you guys are expecting me to say, it's done, good, we want to see the fish. But no, we don't do things that way around here. We're still a couple weeks away from the fish, or 1 week away from the fish. But a lot has been accomplished, and I'm going to take a little bit of time talking about what we have got done. And at the same time, I also want to answer a couple questions again. And that's a new feature of these videos, will be Ask David a Question. And if I don't know an answer, I'll make one up. But people do ask me questions about this, and one of the questions we're going to answer today is about the cost involved in doing something like this. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Before we get going, I want to give a shout out to my buddies in RSK. Too many of them to mention because I know I'll forget somebody and then they'll hate me, but they're a good group of buddies and they've been supporting me with these videos, and I love them all dearly. So anyway, that being said, let's talk about what we're doing here. Okay, what I keep pounding on is the second water tank, and I finally cut a hole in the top of it, and this had corn oil in it. So as you can see, I'm not trying to clean the corn oil out of there, and that's a horrible, stupid job, but we're doing that. And that second tank is going to go to the greenhouse, or to the fish house, or fish hut. I don't know what we're going to call it, fish shack. What do you think's a good name, Reese? Reese doesn't know. By the way, the cameraman today is Reese Perry. Reese is a good young man. He's 15, going to be 16 here in a little bit, and then it really will be the mean streets of Harrisonville as he gets his license.
Oh yeah.
But I will warn everybody in advance before he gets that, so we have time to take cover. So this is the fish suppository. No, fish depository, not suppository. Fish depository. Got the one tank in there already. This one will be in there tomorrow after I get the stinking corn oil out. And that's where the water begins. That's where the magic starts. It starts with the magic of fish pooping. We've talked about that before. So let's go over here and take a look at this real quick. Oh, let's go up here. One of the cosmetic things we're going to do. One of the things that my wife told me, Kathy Lynn, the lovely and talented Kathy Lynn, or the Kentucky Wild Woman, Kathy Lynn, whichever you prefer. One of the things she said was that she totally supported me in this hobby, but that everything had to look nice and neat, which it doesn't now, but I promised at the very end it would. So along that line, here's what I'm going to show you, a small sample of what it's going to look like all the way around. We've got this siding that I'm going to put at 2 feet all the way around. And the purpose of that is cosmetic a little bit. But in addition to that, what it'll do is keep some of the animals out. Like we don't want, you know, rabbits or like the retarded dogs I've got. I've got 3 dogs. I've actually got 2.5 retarded dogs because Maggie kind of swings between retardation and sheer brilliance. So I'll give her a half a retardation point. So I've got 2.5 retarded dogs, and they like to come in there and poop. And that will keep them out of there. For some reason, they love pooping on concrete. And it's not the same as fish poop. I can't put it up there and make the plants grow. I'm sure you guys all want to know about that. But anyway, that's going to go all the way around, and it's going to keep some pest environments out. Not that we had a problem with it, plus it also looks pretty good. And then we're going to have a 2-foot street coming up here, this mesh. Now this mesh is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to allow ventilation, because this is going to go all the way around again, so it will let breeze in and through, but it will not allow bugs in. So we'll be able to get, hopefully, a little bit of a breeze without worrying about the bugs. And then, of course, from this point on, it's going to be film, a clear film. And we're going to order that today, but we're trying to decide whether we're going to go with the 10 mil clear sheet that will cover it all, or if we want to go with a 6 mil. It's got kind of a neat pattern on it, and so we're thinking about that, and we haven't made our choice. But there will be a film that will come up and then around. We've decided that we're going to make this this roof a hoop roof. Just want to come over here and see and show them this here. Okay, you see we got that wall over there. We got this wall here, and so I'm taking PVC pipe. I've got 10-foot pieces in the garage. It's 14 foot across. We're going to take 2 feet off each pipe, so we'll have 18-foot things, and we will connect them. We'll have one 8-foot piece coming up there, one 8-foot piece coming up there, and we'll connect them and then run it down the middle. And so we'll have that traditional greenhouse hoop look. And bottom line, it's going to look pretty good on the outside. And I think that as we slowly get there, that the inside's going to look pretty good too. So that will take care of the Kentucky Wild Woman. And plus, I like it to look neat anyway. Last year we took those stands over there against the fence, and we potted flowers. And I've heard that marigolds are really good at repelling mosquitoes. So we may just put marigolds around here just to keep mosquitoes away and see how that works. God works wonders with different things that he does with his kingdom. Okay, there's really not much done here. I did cut the barrels up. So these will be filled with gravel like this. I have no idea what we're planting in them. I'm still planning on growing an avocado tree there, and I started buying some stuff, some plants and stuff, so this week we can go ahead and get that going. I've drained all the water. Still need to clean these tanks out a little bit. They don't have to be sterile by any means, but I do want to clean them out a little bit. Somehow or another, we ended up with like, I don't know, 2 or 3 billion tadpoles. And when I drained it, it was like a mass frogicide, and there are still little bitty tadpole carcasses. And sad thing, and I get emotional talking about it. But anyway, we'll get that cleaned up, and then we'll get this thing going. Okay, so that's that. And believe it or not, we made really good progress. Everything's been done and done right. Jan Van Eekirk, who I always refer to as the brains of this operation, is putting the plumbing in Thursday. He actually may show up during this video. He's got a uniform on. I think that when he shows up, if I see him, I'm going to holler Reese. I'm going to go like, "There's a 5-0, run!" And then we can take, well, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Okay.
Neighbors will see that and
All right.
think I'm growing marijuana here. Okay. Now, the question that people ask me a lot of times is how much does it cost? And first off, you can spend as much money as you want to. You can buy all the stuff here. You can buy everything already pre-made. You can buy kits for greenhouses from anywhere from a couple $100 for a fairly small, fairly flimsy thing to thousands of dollars for a climate controlled, beautiful thing. And we've chosen to go neither route. We have, when I say we, I mean mostly Jan. I would have loved to have Jan on my tank when I was in the Army, because that man is a scrounger. He drives around the county, he's a deputy sheriff, and if he sees something that, he can see something that you and I would look at and say, well, that guy needs to get the junk out of his yard, and he'll look at it and he'll see something we can use in this project. Just stop and talk to the owner, and the owner's always like, man, get that thing out of here. So he brings it down here and boom, we just saved $200 or $300, and so he has been fantastic at doing that. But let's kind of talk about some of the costs. You saw me, if you turn around, we show them that the big white container there again. We have 2 of those. Those hold 250 gallons of water. They used to hold corn oil, and you see them all over the county because of the agriculture here in Missouri. And I am not for sure for the cost, but I think mostly these guys that have them, the farmers, I think they sell them for 20 to 50 bucks a piece. And Jan, of course, got them for free. These barrels at one point contained liquid iron, and I did not know this, but apparently horses need that stuff. So Jan, of course, knows a guy here that has several horses, and those horses, I guess, you know, they aren't magnetized or whatever, so he has to give them iron. And so anyway, we got all these blue barrels laying around, and so we went up there one day, and I suppose with the owner's permission, that's what he said, we threw some in here, so I've cut them in half and made planters out of them. So again, that cost me nothing. The planters themselves, these 2, the 2 long ones here, belong to a gentleman who decided he wanted to do aquaponics, and he went through all the effort of building all this, and then he said, you know what, this is not my deal. So he had all this stuff already invested, and he'd already had it built, and he was just going to burn it. So we went and picked those up. So those 2 are free. Jan built this one, and he built it mainly out of scrap lumber. However, I think he did buy the 4x4 bases. So you know what, there's maybe $20, $25 involved in that. And then the lumber here, as you look around, that's kind of a mixture. Some of it is left over from 3 years ago when I built the original greenhouse, and then probably 70% of it is lumber I've had to buy this year. So that did cost me a couple $100. The roof, the PVC piping I'm going to need to do this roof, and again, remember the dimensions are 24 by 14, pretty good size. The PVC pipe itself is only going to be about $65. So the framing for the roof is going to be $65. The paneling that Reese did earlier at the bottom of the greenhouse that goes around. We have enough to do most of it. I may have to go buy a couple 4x8 sheets. Jan got that again for free. The 2 4x8 sheets I buy will probably be about $15 a piece, I imagine. So there's $30. The wood, I have so much still extra scrap wood behind my shed. You don't need to show back there. It's dangerous. It's a jungle.
Oh, okay.
And so you might never come back out. So I've used all the scrap lumber we've had around here. These headers right here were left over from the raised beds I made down there, so I didn't have to purchase them. The pad was already here. It will nickel and dime you to death, though, in a way. You will go to Sutherland's and you'll like, oh yeah, and then you'll buy a tool here. I bought a drill hammer, and I bought a saw, and so you kind of nickel and dime yourself to death without realizing it sometimes. But the bottom line is this greenhouse, when it's operational, is going to create a tremendous amount of food. I can't give you a quantity, but I think there's going to be enough to feed several families anyway. It's going to be an awful lot. And once we get the water in here initially, we're not going to have to worry about another cost of water. But the bottom line is, because of Jan's extraordinary scrounging abilities and our ability and desire to use every scrap we can find, it's really cost me probably at the max so far about $600 or $700. Now the reality is that if we hadn't scrounged it, it probably would have been closer maybe to $2,000. But the one thing is that once it's built, you're pretty much done. From that point on, the only thing you're really doing is if you want to use seedlings every year, you'll have to go buy those. They're not that expensive. You may want to get some different fish. Well, you're gonna have to get fish anyway. But I got a tank full of fish. I mean, I had like 100. I think I had 50 of the hybrid bluegills and 50 catfish. And I think those 100 fish cost me like $30, $35. I went to a local fish hatchery here up the road and bought them there. And they also just give me for free the dechlorination stuff that I need for the water. So you'll have that cost every year of adding that. We're not adding fertilizer. We're not adding anything for pesticide. We are going to put a little Epsom salt in for tomatoes. Apparently tomatoes like Epsom salts. And really there's not much more than that. Even if I run this thing a full year, the cost that I will have will be a little bit for water, and if I decide to heat it, then whatever the cost of heating this is going to be. So kind of a weird way to answer this. I don't know if I did answer it actually, but again, you can spend as much as you want, or if you're trying to be thrifty, you can do like us and still have a really nice looking, a really functional, really good size thing, or you can spend a lot of money. So again, you can go any way you want, and the reality is that's fine. It's going to be, everything with this has no rules. I can build this any way I want, any color I want, any dimension, and spend as much or as little as I want as well too. And that goes for you. So if you're interested in doing this, for example, a player I know with the nickname of Awesome, his wife wants him to build one. Mrs. Awesome, it don't cost jack if Mr. Awesome will get out there and look for the right stuff. Or he can spend all your money. So, I'll let you guys talk about that later on after you watch the video. So there you go. You can spend a little, you can spend a lot, and any way you look at it, you can still have something that's going to be really functional. I did this for fun. I did this for a hobby, and I am having fun, and it's a good hobby, and I have not got to the point where Kathy is screaming about how much money I'm spending. So anyway, hopefully that answers your questions. That's it for now. I so hope that Jan will in fact get the plumbing done Thursday. He's, again, the deputy sheriff, busy as snot, so we'll wait and see. But if he does, we will definitely have a video, and it's going to be exciting to see. This is not joking. It's really exciting when you get the water and water gets turned on there. You hear the pump kick on, and you hear it start trickling, and then you see it coming down, and then into here, and then you're like, woo! And then at some point, a little bit later, you'll see the water trickle down to the drainage thing. Then you'll hear that pump kick in, and it's going back up there, and you know that it's completed a cycle. At that point, we're just going to run it through a few times, make sure and clean everything up a little bit, and we're ready to go. We can start planting stuff, and then probably in about a week we will go and get the fish, and then we're ready. We'll take that. At that point, it'll be hydroponics mostly, but then we'll get the fish, and it'll become aquaponics. So it's coming. It's getting closer all the time. And if you guys have any questions, Reese has promised me that he can put graphics in this thing. So I don't know if they're here or if we're, here. Where are they gonna be at, Reese? Some people were
probably along the bottom.
Down here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
somewhere along there.
Right here, right across my manly chest, you should see graphics right now, and the graphics should say dacundiff@gmail.com or net or something. dacundiff@gmail.com. I think is what it is. So, and on Facebook, I am David Cundiff at Harrisonville, Missouri. So if you have any questions, please feel free to do that. If you got any complaints about this video, just keep it to yourself. I don't need to hear that stuff, but we do accept complaints. So that's pretty much it. Now, supposed to give a song recommendation. What's the song recommendation today, Reese?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know there was a song recommendation.
Okay, so I get to pick again. All right, so today's song recommendation is by Tori Amos, Cornflake Girl. I never was a cornflake girl. Oh man, it's awesome. So anyway, that's the music recommendation. Cornflake Girl by Tori Amos. The cameraman here is Reese. And guys, any questions, contact me at this information right here. You know, and eyes up here, guys, right down there. So anyway, that's it. Have a nice day. God bless you all.